it's a funeral home. Her dad just died, and it kind of looks like the funeral home he was in.
Oh my God!
But
they look like a funeral home.
But you get this because we were raised on the Addams Family and the Munsters and I Dream of Jeannie, and like we were that generation that came through some really weird TV, and we get it.
And Dora from Bewitched.
Yeah.
All these period pieces. This is so amazing. I'm glad I got to experience this. I mean, I always wanted, when I go to Vegas, to go to Liberace's museum so I can see how
Lee.
how
extravagant
he lived.
I got stories. Now, here's what I want you to do with this when you leave here.
Mm-hmm.
When you have a press junket,
mm-hmm.
when you need to give interviews, because I know big things are coming your way. Your future is so bright for me, it blinds my eyes to even think about it. But what you should do is come here and do your press outlet here and have pictures of yourself, like on the tables behind us, and this should be your press location.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Because this is amazing. If you guys could actually see this room, it's fantastic.
It's a boudoir. In my mind,
a boudoir. This is fantastic, and what are you happy now, Mark? Are you okay? I mean, how long has it? One question at a time.
Yeah.
How long has it been since Bruce MacArthur? 5 years?
You asked me if I'm happy. I don't seek happiness.
Okay.
I seek peace of mind.
Okay.
I have peace of mind right now because my only job in this universe is to be right here with you.
Okay.
If they gave me an Oscar yesterday, or they're going to cut my head off tomorrow, neither matter. My only job is to be in this moment with you.
Okay.
So I have peace of mind. So that's checked for me.
Okay.
My encounter with the killer.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like to say his name. I just don't want to. His name gets too much already.
Okay.
You know, I'm a footnote in his story right now. But I promise you, before I die, my Wikipedia page, he is going to be a footnote in mine. I am not going to remain a footnote in his.
Well, I'm just blessed that when we were talking about the story, she says, well, we're not focusing on the Bruce MacArthur story or theories and anything that happened. We want to focus on his survival. So are you in a good place now?
Well, we have to touch on the story a little bit in order for me to lay it out. But in 2001, on Halloween Day...
So it's been how many years since this?
20 years this year.
Since he attacked you?
Yes.
Okay.
And my friend and I had founded the Halloween on Church Street festival. It's the largest Halloween party in North America, beating Mexico, which I'm so proud of. So it's about 100,000, and it's an odd mix of the gay community, Asian community, and Middle Eastern communities. And I don't know what is in the Middle Eastern and Asian community that brings it out, but those are three cultures that meet on that night that don't meet any other time of the year in the way that they do. So I'm very proud of that. So my attack happened on Halloween Day at noon. He got in front of the story by running over and pleading guilty when I fought back. And I want you to know from me to you, I fought back like a son of a bitch. He walked out of here hurt. I had a fractured skull and a broken arm, but he walked out of here hurt. That's who's in this chair.
Wonderful.
So
I don't want you to relive it. I'm trying to. Yeah. But I do want you to understand that I understand.
Yeah, I get that. So he got in front of the story. Then he got off because he was in front of the story. And then nothing happened until 18, when he then got in front of the story again, but I had a gag order because it was a trial in Canada, and I couldn't come out. I was the only witness they had. And in the intervening years between 2001 and his arrest in 18, he never let up on me. Not for one day. So I would be performing. I did an awful lot of shows for Casey House. I raised $6.2 million for Casey House. And I would be on stage, and I would see him in the audience. Now, let's take that with a grain of salt, because if you ask me when was the last time I saw him, I saw him 2 weeks ago on Yonge Street. But you and I both know he's in jail. So I was always running from a demon that may or may not have existed, but many times it was actually him for 17 years, and I couldn't get anyone to hear me. So within all of that, I still wanted to be this. I still wanted to be fabulous. I still wanted to be out and loud and proud and a peacock and have all the fun I could have playing out at the world. So I had to go on.
Mm-hmm. Well, you know, Mark, it's rather strange. I want to just say this here because me and you will understand this, and a lot of the people in the gay community will understand it. First of all, most people who would think of you, okay, you're a stripper. You're openly admitted that you like men, and every now and then you like some company of men. And then two, this is this eccentric world that people might not understand all of this. And the mere fact that you're outspoken. So now you have 5 or 6 things that might make people think, like you said earlier, that maybe you're a little crazy or you're mentally ill in some sense. But I understand the fight. The fight, when you said that, you said it with, he's not going to get me. Because you knew.
I knew he wasn't going to get me. Katharine Hepburn says, in this battle between me and the world, I'm going to win. Mm-hmm. And that was what I'd say every day. I knew he was out there. Mm-hmm. But you also know, from being a black man and a gay man, and you know, that the first thing the system does is discredit us. Mm-hmm. And that's where I'm really angry, that I was dismissed, I was sexualized. And in 2018, when all of the men came up missing and dead, mm-hmm. in the media, they were sexualized over and over and over and over again. Not looking at the other similarities that they had, but the media just took the most salacious ones. Mm-hmm. And in every story had to say they had ties to the gay community. I was walking down the street on Halloween. Mm-hmm. If that's ties to the gay community, that was purely location. So mm-hmm. I think when you have something to say, and I won't let you say it because I'm judging you by your skin color, your religion, your sexuality, or something about you that's of who you are. Mm-hmm. There's a pain inside of you when you can't get it out and they won't let you. And I think when George Floyd was killed and we saw America erupt, some part of me was thinking, finally, mm-hmm. finally, these people, you know, are...
Well, you know, the good thing about all of this, you said it earlier when I was getting ready, that this pandemic leveled the playing field. It changed the whole dynamics of this game. So a lot of these people who did these really bad things for a very long time, with acting like they had good intentions, are now getting their just desserts, in a sense.
Yeah. I say a lot of stuff, so if I said that, I probably did. Like, I'm busted. But all I can tell you for me is, after the killer's arrest, casting in Toronto, film and television, it was over. Mm-hmm. It's absolutely over. I think with my experience in raising money for Casey House, and Princess Di came to visit me at work, and I think I should have been a judge on RuPaul's Drag Race. Mm-hmm. I'm perfect. But
you are perfect for that.
But they picked some guy that... Who the hell was that other judge? I'm like, he's an from our community. And anyways,
Well, you know, sometimes people go with the easiest things.
Yeah.
They go with the easiest things. They don't see the whole outlook of the show. That's why Canada's Drag Race is struggling right now to even try to produce any real sort of worthwhile episodes, is because they don't have the right people on the judges panel, none of them, and they don't have the right people in the show.
Yeah, casting, like I wanted to be on Big Brother Canada, mm-hmm. but they won't touch me either. No one's going to touch me. So what it did for me when COVID came along was suddenly every actor was shelved. Mm-hmm. So I was in good company. I was shelved because of somebody else killed a bunch of people. That's a rotten reason to shelve me. And I think casting in Toronto should be ashamed of themselves. They're wrong. I'm a talented actor. But they don't want me. That's fine. So where do I go next? first thing I did was open an OnlyFans. And you know what? I banked it. I made, as a working actor, from 2018 to now, I made a total of $400. So I took the only open door, and the media had sexualized me beyond anything. So I just opened that door and went in.
Well, you know, sometimes it's good to be just straight out open and honest.
I love being honest. I love being honest.
Because sometimes they just need that. That way, they can't go any further. They can't go any left or right because you said it already.
Yeah.
So they can't. It has no weight to it.
I have talent in that I'm a survivor. I bounce. I always say Joan Rivers lives on this shoulder and Jane Mansfield lives on this shoulder, and both of them said bounce. It's if that's what's going to sell the tickets, sexualize yourself. Then you don't say no in an improv. Go. And what happened initially, and what happens all the time for me, is people look like, oh my God, this is the sex pot, but then I have talent that goes with it. And then suddenly by the end of the act, they're like, oh, I get it, you know. Seeing old people with a sexual identity is creepy. There's also a lot of humor in it.
Well, that's because you're not heterosexual. Now, if you were heterosexual, you had lots of young girls around you, and you were a millionaire, nobody would pay that any attention because Hugh Hefner's done it from the beginning of time.
No money. Those girls don't pay, or I'd be there. You know what I mean?
And you're a gay man, and they already know that we're mostly sexualized anyway. Because the only thing they can think about is us in the gay pride parades, half naked, and trying to have sex or doing drugs in nightclubs all night long and doing these crazy things. But you know, that's okay for them to think that way. Now that times have changed, it's good that we are doing a lot of talking.
Yeah. People are going to think what they're going to think, though, right? One time I was, years ago, before Freddie Mercury died, I had spent a summer with him in upstate New York. And Abby Hoffman was across the lake, and Lauren Hutton was at the cottage beside us. And I'm not allowed to say things about her doing all the drugs, but if I could say that. Anyways, a book was written about Freddie Mercury, in which I was quoted, and there's a shot of me, and I'm naked on a dock, and the quote in the book was as if I said it just that day. And so I realized people would read this book and think, oh my God, they think I said that, and I'm not that person, and I wanted to suck it back in or take it back. And it was too late, and I called somebody, and they said to me, if somebody writes a book, it's between them, their computer, and their God. And if I read a book in Oshawa or Oakville, it's between them, their armchair, and their God. And she said, if you want to put yourself in every living room of every person reading that book, you can do it, but you'll go crazy. Or you can realize it's not about you. You're not in it. And